Okay, we'll go ahead and get started. I think we got a good amount of people here, probably some on vacation this week. If you hear any loud noises, I'm in a room where they're working on the building outside, so apologize for that. So basically today, I'm going to show what that stakeholders database that we've all been working in, what it looks like in Lightning version, how to use it, and all that. We've had a lot of questions come in, so we have that due date this Friday for updating advisory council members. And I'll go through how to do that. And also, I just want to give time, since we have that due date, a lot of people are getting in there, to complete to just open it up to any questions. So first of all, one of the big questions is,
it matches mine.
Currently aren't connected. They're two different databases. It's not connected to your contacts. That is true. And the reason for that is back when we created the this stakeholders database that you go to, that there wasn't time for us to make that connection with current contacts. What it involves is consolidating what we have with what this old database was. So the stakeholders database was an existing database that we had on our intranet at one time. So yeah, oh, by tomorrow. Okay, yeah, Jennifer reminded me that advisory board members actually need to be entered by tomorrow. So this is still a good time to any last minute questions or concerns you have to talk about that. So you need to get those in before the end of the day tomorrow. So again, we're looking at a way to integrate those two. The big time that we update stakeholders is in the winter before we send out our annual report, sorry. So we try to get those all updated by then. So we hope to have that connection in there. We definitely plan on having that connected before the end of next year. There's actually something that I think I can do this afternoon I'm going to try and do. So just keep working on the database. We'll go through it today, but I'll let you know any updates as we go along, so that when you do go to a contact, you'll be able to see that they're also in this stakeholders database. So first, I'll go ahead and share my screen here. Make sure I pull up the right page. I think. Here we go. So I'm in Lightning here, and I'm on the home page, and it has stakeholders up here already because I was recently in it, but you might not see it when you go there. You may need to click this More tab, and then you'll see stakeholders there. So if you don't see it up here, just try More, and then you'll be able to see stakeholders. If you don't see it at all, please let us know. So if you click on stakeholders, it's going to take you to this recently viewed page first, but you can then click the view drop down here, just like in contacts, mail groups, all that. And you're going to want to scroll down a little bit and find your county. Let's say you're in Washington. You could just go ahead and type it in there and it'll pop up. You can click on that. It'll take you right there to the view for all of your stakeholders. As you can see, Washington has quite a bit. Now, if you wanted to make sure that every time you go to stakeholders, this pops up, that's one thing that you can do in the Lightning version is just go ahead and pin it. By clicking that pin, and when you click stakeholders, it'll go right to Washington, that view. So let me pull up the chat. Feel free to ask any questions as we go along too. Hopefully most of you have already gotten some of your advisory council members updated. You're not waiting till the right last minute. So just as an example, what we're asking you to do right now with managing this database, as I said, these aren't connected to existing contacts, but most of you have these as updated as necessary. So if I click on that name, I see what information is added there. Basically, they have the email address, they have the district area, and they have position as HHS advisory. So if I click on this, and their position is also, if I move this out more, you can see, if their position is also something else, you can add multiple things here. So if they're more than just HHS advisory, you could add extension board as well if they're both. That is something you could do as far as position goes. So I have a question from Joyce. Is there a way to sort by position? I used to be able to do this, but it doesn't allow me to do this now. I'll look at that in just a second when we go back into that view. So again, this is just editing. So this is where you can put active or inactive. And then this is what we're asking you to do, was to go through your existing stakeholders that are in there. And if they are an advisory board member, to click this checkbox. So you can see that Washington County has done that for this contact, for this stakeholder. So if they are an advisory board member, please make sure that this box is checked, because what we're going to do is run a report for all of the stakeholders that have been added where that box is checked for advisory board member. And that way we'll be able to, if they have emails, be able to email them. So it doesn't hurt also to see if they don't have an email, if there's you have an email for them elsewhere that you can add. I would check that as well. And once you've made any edits, you can go ahead and click save. And then if I go back, let me just go here. So a real quick question was from Joyce, if she could sort by position. I believe you should if you just click position here. Let me see. Looks like it's saying wrap text. Let's try. Oops. You may need to go into edit list filters. Let's see. I'm just trying to figure this out on my own as well too. So it would not be a filter, which is fine. I can get back to you and share this on the chatter as well on how you can just filter by position, but I'm pretty sure there's a way. That's something maybe I just needed to learn in Lightning as well. We can look in the classic version too. So if you are working on the stakeholders in the classic version, that's perfectly fine. Since we've been discussing the Lightning version, I just wanted to continue with that. So yeah, I'll look into that after that and post how to filter that. Another question from Connie: if someone is in contacts but not in stakeholder, can you copy the information over? Yeah, there's not a, you could just copy and paste it over. What I would do is just create 2 tabs. I know that might be a pain for now, but we're going to work on automating, making that much easier in the future. Again, unfortunately, with time constraint and resources, this is just how it had to be in the beginning. But hopefully we can make this even easier as we continue. So yeah, you can just copy and paste any information you have. And then if you need to add a new person, so if you go through your list and you're like, well, I have an advisory council member that isn't on here, then you would just do new here. And then the only thing that is required is last name, but you should have first name, last name, email, preferred, and then you want to select the district that they're in, the area, their position. So if they are, what advisory they're on, and then you'll select your county. You'll enter your county in here. Status, you'll want to put active. And then since you're adding in a new advisory board member, you'll want to make sure that that is selected. And then you'll click save to add that person. Now, again, if they already exist as a contact, you want to just have another tab open, just copy and paste that information over, you can do that. That might be the easiest. So Connie reworded her question a little here. So if someone is in contacts but not yet a stakeholder, do you have to redo all the information? Yes, currently you would, but it depends on what information you want to put in there. If you just want to put in their name and that they're, what position they're in, you can do that. The only thing that's required is last name, but we obviously want to know if they're an advisory member, so just whatever information is pertinent. We're working on connecting those 2 things, but currently, if you have like a list, if you have like a list of like over like 20 people that you need to move over as advisory members, let me know. I mean, if it's getting outrageous and it's just too much work for you and you're concerned about the amount of work of moving those over, let me know and we can work on a solution. I can try to make that much easier for you. Okay, so then click save there, and then that'll add that new stakeholder. And so again, we're in Washington County's view. You shouldn't have any reason to get into any other county's view. So I think it would be good idea just to pin that there. So really, other than me figuring out how to filter or sort by position here, I didn't have much else to discuss other than just showing how to add and edit stakeholder. If there's any other questions, feel free to ask those now. If not, like I said, I'm going to try and do something so that, which goes back to Connie's question, if I can get it done this afternoon in time, I'll let everybody know. Hopefully maybe in the next hour, there can be something I can add where if you have a contact that you can just add them over to this. But even after you add them over to this, there will still be some things you would need to do in the stakeholder. So if you had an existing contact and you're like, I want to add them to stakeholder, you still would need to get into stakeholders and click that advisory board checkbox. So I'll try and work on that as soon as we're done here. And then also that question about sorting positions. Any other questions? Feel free to email us, put anything on Chatter this afternoon or tomorrow as well, as you work to get those in there still. So if there's any other questions about stakeholders in general, there was a lot of people that wanted to add positions. Just let us know if there's fields or types of data that you want to see in there for stakeholders. We can do that. I think another thing that might be useful would be able to have a notes in here. So I'm going to work on adding a notes section for stakeholders as well. That way you can add in more detailed notes or anything that you wanted to, attachments related to that stakeholder. Another quick question here. Is there a way in Salesforce can someone have access to view only? Yes, in this stakeholders, you shouldn't be able to edit other counties, but if you can, let me know. That's something I can work on fixing, because there have been some permission things that have been changed over the last few months. So if you're running into any permissions issues, let me know. But it should be only you have access to your county. Let me know. We can work on that. And then another question is, what about within the same county without purchasing another license? That's a good question. Send me an email, Gene, if you want to discuss that more, and we would just set up a separate profile just for your county. I think we can definitely do that. We would just have to discuss who that person is and what permissions. If you just want them to have read access to everything, we could do that. Another option is a cheaper license option that will allow the additional user to just read the data rather than being able to add anything. Okay. We're at 15 minutes here, so again, please email us at extsalesforce@purdue.edu if you have any other questions, and good luck getting the rest this updated. If you need any help, just let us know. Thank you.